All right, we'll just go live because this is an LLC question of which I can even answer. Hello, I have an issue. I live in Ohio. I'm sorry. Tired of the bitter cold winters and lack of outdoor things to do. Thankfully, I live in the northeastern part, so during the summer I have Lake Erie to provide some activities. But besides that, really nothing. Also, I'm in the process of starting an LLC for my small business, so I would also like to use this desire to move to benefit my business as well in tax purposes and small business policies. The LLC will be set up in Ohio. So, in terms of moving to another state, it would be easiest to go to another state that allows LLC domestication. So, my question to you, all knowing asshole, is could you recommend a state that has beautiful scenery, a plethora of outdoor activities, and warmer climate, and is business friendly, small business friendly? And, do do boo 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 boo. All right. Okay, so I think there's a huge confusion, and it's understandable so, about where to set up an LLC. It does not matter what state you set up your LLC, because an LLC is a single member entity, meaning you're still going to pay the personal taxes on it. So, what determines your tax rate is not the state that you set up your LLC, it's the state that you personally live in. Okay. So, but then this now makes us there is no really tax benefit for having an LLC set up versus one state or another, though there is in terms of taxes. That then means there are other things you look at where you want to set up your company legally. Okay, and the first thing that would come to mind is, well, if it doesn't matter what state it's in, why don't you set it up in a state you're likely to move to? So that's one thing. We'll talk about states that you can move to next, where I'd recommend. But there's some other reasons and benefits of setting up an LLC in one state versus other. And so I'll just go over a couple of them. There's not that many that will really make your choice. But first, anonymity. All right. In Wyoming and New Mexico, you could set up an LLC anonymously. Now, you may not need to do that. Right. Maybe you set up you're not controversial. You make widgets, ain't no one coming after you, you're not going to get sued. But let's say you make a lot of money and you don't want people knowing you make a lot of money. So you don't want people being able to look you up on public record. Well, New Mexico and Wyoming, and I think even Nevada allows for anonymous LLC registration. Okay. And what you do is you pay what's called a registered agent. That's a company that does all the interactions with the state that you decide to register the LLC in. It depends on how complex you want it to be, but you're looking at, say, $200 a year for them to do all that, plus a couple fees, so maybe another $100, $200 in fees to register and keep your LLCs current at those particular states. All right, but they handle it all, and then your name isn't on it. People can't find you or your business. All right, so that's one reason. Anonymity. Another thing, very simple, fees. All right. I think New York charges, New York and California, I think the fees are very high. And I always get a kick out of these Democrat states. We're here to help the little people. Why do you make it so expensive to set up a company then? Why do you require licenses for everything? And so what you may want to do is shop around and figure out what does it cost to register an LLC. Another thing to look for is can you set it up once and be done with it? Or are you like every other major annoying state in the country that requires an annual renewal? Minnesota did that. That was a royal pain in the butt. You know, register all the night. Look, can you just charge me $500? Okay, give me a lifelong LLC. I don't know if any states offer that, but that's something else to look for. And then also, if you can set up your LLC in a state you're likely to move to, then you don't have to pay a domestication tax or fee or foreign registration tax or fee. And what that means is if you set up your company in one state, its LLC is in one state, but you live in another, that other state, when you file your state income taxes, will probably require that you file some kind of registration fee to register your foreign company, even though it's in the United States, it's out of the state. That foreign company needs to be registered in the state you live. And so that's it. Again, not sexy, nothing grandiose, but generally you want to go to states where there's no state income taxes, the fees aren't that high, and you can have anonymous registration. And I think that the only ones that fall into that would be Wyoming and New Mexico. And then just so you know, some states, this is why I won't even bother with California and New York. I would definitely not deal with Ohio. Lord knows that you're registered here, and even though you live in a different state, we're going to tax you anyway. So now you go with your no state income taxes. Your Alaska's, Florida's, Tennessee, New Hampshire, Texas, South Dakota, Washington State, and Nevada. All right, just to avoid that. But yeah, it's more what kind of fees and what kind of managerial headache are they going to make it be? Are you going to be California? You're going to be, even Wyoming's a little bit of an annoying thing. New Mexico is less so. So that's what I would do to determine where you want to set up your LLC. Now, where you want to live, I have a book. It's called Reconnaissance Man. Please read it, go buy it, and do what's in the book. But what you said, so I would not set up your LLC in Ohio. It just sounds like a nightmare state. So my question is, where would you recommend to stay? As beautiful scenery, plethora of outdoor activities, warmer climate, small business friendly. Nevada, warmer climate, beautiful scenery. Florida, though it doesn't have mountains or hills, obviously. New Hampshire, no, they still get a lot of snow. Washington State, warmer, just stay out of Seattle. Tennessee, definitely Tennessee. I'd go Tennessee because I know all you East Siders, you never all cross the Mississippi. Oh, I want to move to a nicer place. Oh, Florida. You guys think Texas is the Wild West frontier. You don't even know the other half of the country exists. So, but I would definitely do Tennessee. I would, and that's just what if I remember my geography correctly, only Tennessee separates Ohio and Tennessee, right? You just do a straight shot down whatever the highway that is, and you're in Tennessee. I'd look at Tennessee. Outdoor activities, warmer climate, small business. Yeah, Tennessee. There you go. That's what I would do. But then, do the Reconnaissance Man thing. Go get that book, reconnoiter the area, and see what their LLC requirements are, the registration fees, if you got to do it every year or whatever, and if you could file anonymously. And that's it. Okay, glad we answered that. Any super chats? Hat and Clog, $2. Cappy, when's your meet and greet, aka Spurkfest? When I recover from all this work, I think I will be putting A-Hole Consulting on hiatus for a while. Because I'd like to just finish the book and not have to work every day. Hat and Clog's $2. It's Jason Bourne's in the house. He's been a regular listener. Little did you know Jason Bourne is a regular tuner-intour of the Cappy Cap podcast. All right. See you guys later. Toodles.